says home slices. Okay, that home slice was not how it was supposed to be. Um, what are my home slices? Okay, that's a little bit better. So, um, I've been thinking, because a lot of people like to ask for timestamps. So I've been thinking to just maybe starting next year to do individual fight the breakdowns. You guys can comment down below and tell me if maybe that's something you would be interested. I just feel like it's a little bit easier if I just compile everything all at once so that you can forward. Maybe I'm speaking specifically to people who don't watch me live, who watch my videos after I'm done streaming. So you can comment and tell me if maybe that would be a little bit more useful. Kamran, you did fantastic. I appreciate that, man. I'm trying. I'm always trying to improve. I still feel like there's a bit that there are a couple of flaws in my strategy, despite the fact that I do really well the majority of the time. But there are those times whereby, like UFC Noche, the same strategy that I used for UFC Noche, where like the results were bad. And I understand that it's MMA. Sometimes even if your predictions are good, there are times whereby the outcome can change. Um, I still feel like I want to be able to predict 100% or close to 100% most of the time. But I think maybe I should give the strategy a bit of time in order for me to actually maybe see the consistency of it. But to be honest, since I've been using the current strategy, I'm approaching. R, how are you doing, man? How are you doing? I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. So since I've been using this strategy that I implemented in June or July, my prediction accuracy has been increasing. I never get notifications for your channel, bro. I think you need to turn on the bell. I think that's another mistake that I do. I don't tell people to turn on notifications. I don't know why. You have to turn on the notification. I'm sure you're subscribed, so if you're subscribed, there's going to be a bell next to the subscription button. You just click it, and then it'll give you options of whether you want to get notifications. Bro, I have the bell checked. I wonder why then. Maybe YouTube is taking time. I think maybe I'll try to see that and check that out. I hardly see you in the comments. Or is your name different in the comments? Like once upon an oil fest, like his name. I don't know if it's his handle or something like that. I ask because I want to come back to you. Speaking of the dude, what are you doing? How are you doing, man? Bro, I have the bell check. Please do another fight. Watch along for this card. I enjoyed it as well, man. I'm actually considering ways in which I can do a watch along because that was incredible. Even in between the fights, like I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. But I'll try. I'll try once upon an oil first. It's gonna be tricky, but I'm going to try. Um, yeah, let me just leave it at that. So R, back to you. I was answering you. I haven't gotten to the breakdown yet. I'm 27 years old. Since 9, I was obsessed with combat sport. Started with boxing, then for the last 10 years moved to MMA. But boxing is on the comeback with the Saudi fights. Dana has been hitting us with weak sauce. I mean, the fights haven't been that bad, to be honest. I feel like we suffer because of Apex cards, but apart from that, I feel like the fights have been incredible. And even going forward, look at the UFC 311. Look at UFC 312. Although I'm not excited about seeing Strickland, but I know Dricus Du Plessis is going to be aggressive enough to make the fight entertaining, right? But yeah, I'm not really excited about the Strickland. I know he has his fan base, but I don't think I used to be. But His fights are boring, unfortunately. For me, maybe for other people they are exciting, but for me they're not that entertaining. But I think the UFC has been putting on like decent cards, except maybe fight nights. There have been questionable fight nights. But where are you from, Kamran? Where are you from? I'm from South Africa, guys. So so before I continue with the prediction results, I was answering R. Um, I think if you want to turn on the notifications, maybe check your settings. I think maybe either YouTube is taking time to notify you when I go live. I don't know what the problem is. Maybe YouTube takes time to notify you when you go live, but maybe I'll try to check on my end and maybe come back to you, whether in the comment section or when I do my final breakdowns. And it's going to be sad this Wednesday because my final breakdowns will literally be the final breakdowns this year. Uh, until the card for January next year. It's gonna be sad, but at least the awards are coming up, so that will distract my mind. And normally it's a good thing, I'm able to improve a lot of things on the channel when I have a bit of break. But yeah, it doesn't feel good, even though it's sometimes a lot to run this channel alone. Um, it's gonna be really really odd. I think making video, waking up in the morning, editing videos, uploading them, planning lives, researching. Saturday, I don't have a social life. I sit down, I research, I do my analysis, I predict fights. Like, that whole system has become a part of my life. So it's gonna be odd to not be able to do that. But yeah, I feel like me resting is going to be helpful. Once upon an oil fest, I don't know how I'm going to stream the fights again, but I enjoy doing it. I'll try to make a plan. I don't know how I'm going to, but I'll try to make a plan. I promise. I'll see what I can do. I'm not making any promises, but I'm going to make a significant effort to actually make sure that I stream live. It was incredible. I don't want to lie. I enjoyed it. And this stupid phone, but the battery was low. Let me not even say that. But yeah, let me respond and then I can start. Um, Free World. Danik. Who's Danik? Free World. Okay. Sean, why are you bald? I don't know. I don't like hair. R. Bro, before I used to to count down the days to the UFC cards. No, I don't even care much. This makes me so sad. When Connor was on the 145 rise to 85, I of their cars were straight fire. Yeah, I think maybe it's because the UFC now has a little bit of pressure to put on multiple cards on a weekly basis. So I think maybe, and also even the matchmaking, unfortunately, sometimes they don't necessarily like to spread the talent. They concentrated on specific cards. I don't know why, but yeah, they concentrated on specific cards, and it results in us, the fans, not being able to enjoy every single card throughout the year. But hopefully, it will be a little bit different next year. What am I saying? It's not. But as time progresses, I feel like stars will be born, and it'll be a lot more easier for the UFC to put on decent cards. Um, I'm hoping, So yeah, I get what you're saying, and I'm not even going to dispute that. I'm looking forward to your next prediction video. I appreciate that, man. I still have to do a bit more research. I heard a couple of people asking for my locks. Unfortunately, if you watch my prediction videos, especially final predictions and upsets predictions, I hardly ever give out the locks until Friday because I prefer to do a lot of research before I tell anyone um, the picks that I'm confident in, right? So far, I've been on a hot streak. I don't know when last I was wrong about my locks. A lot of, if not all, my locks, like it's been a while since one of my locks have lost. Even mid-level confidence locks have actually all won. Last week I said um, I don't have locks, but I have mid-level confident picks, which were Cyril Gahn. I'm going to get to that fight. Um, what else? I said Cyril Gahn. I said Chase Hooper. I said Dominic Reyes. I remember laughing when I was like, I can't believe like Dominic Reyes is one of my confident picks, but I knew he would finish. I don't remember if I said Dominic Reyes would actually finish him, but I think I said it in one of my stream, and I also said who was the fourth one? Oh, Bryce Mitchell, but I wasn't too confident in him. But yeah, and surprisingly, Aljamain Sterling had one of the most incredible fights. Actually, let me get to the prediction results, guys, and then I'll respond to everyone. I think my battery is fine, so hopefully I can go through the entire card and then respond to everyone once I'm done. Um, Before I start, just so that if you're here for the numbers, um, I got 11 out of 14. My subscribers got 12 out of 14. My heart is very heavy because sometimes the subscribers they are even on picks. I'm the tiebreaker, and then they get to benefit from my tie breaking prediction, and now they are ahead of me. You guys need to decide when you pick your people and stop making me break ties because now I have to be the one who has more predictions right. I'm sorry, no, it's fine. But yeah, it sometimes it feels odd. I don't like being wrong. So yeah, this is one of those weeks where my subscribers had more predictions correct than I did. They got 12 correct. I got 11 correct. So my subscribers got two wrong. I got three wrong out of 14. Sucks. That's one of the reasons why I want to increase my prediction accuracy and maybe get it to like if I can get, and I can tell that it's growing, but I want to average like 90. A lot of people will say no, that's not possible. I think you'll see it with me. Like I'm going to make it happen. Trust me. If you've been here since the channel started, my predictions were horrible last year, guys. Like I don't want to lie. Early this year they got better. From UFC 300 they got better. Like they got better and better, and since July, oh my goodness, like I've been consistent since July. The accuracy has been incredible. Anyway, let me stop rambling and actually get to why a lot of people are here. Well, not a lot of people, but you get what I mean. Kennedy Nzechukwu versus Lucas Brzezinski. My subscribers and I went with Kennedy Nzechukwu. I wasn't really too confident about Kennedy Nzechukwu, largely because I felt like he didn't fight impressively in his previous fight against Chris Barnett. But I realize now that I was being a little bit too hard on him because number one, he was moving up. I saw his body has filled up a little bit as far as heavyweight goes. It seems like he's actually committing to actually becoming a heavyweight. And I saw a lot of people criticizing his performance, and I was like, "What are these people watching?" Like you can say heavyweight is trash, which is true, but you can't necessarily say that just because it took him a couple of minutes to knock out Lucas, then it means Kennedy is somehow not good. I think Kennedy looked incredible for heavyweight. I think he looks good enough to actually get into the top five, especially considering how Cyril Gahn looked. It didn't look good, man. So, I mean, it looks like he's good enough to get into the top five. I wouldn't be surprised if Kennedy Nzechukwu actually gets to a point whereby he's able to fight for the belt. So, yeah, I don't know why people were criticizing him. In my opinion, he looked sensational. I'm excited to see him at heavyweight because a lot of heavyweight fights are very sluggish. They're very slow. And Kennedy did not look like that for me. Like he looked like he moved like Cyril Gahn. He moved like Tom Aspinall. and I think he's going to get better the more he gets used to his new weight class. So yeah, I don't know why people were trashing his performance, which was insane. But yeah, my subscribers and I got this one right. On to the next one: Clay Guida versus Chase Hooper. My subscribers and I went with Chase Hooper. Um, I was a little bit concerned when I picked Chase Hooper. I remember in my stream where before I made the Chase Hooper my mid-level confident pick, I was like, I'm not particularly sure how this one is going to play out. Largely because I feel like Clay Guida, a younger version of Clay Guida, would have had a little bit more success. But because he's older, and Chase Hooper is not necessarily a trashy fighter, I knew that Chase Hooper would most likely win. But I was a little bit worried that he might get caught with something. I mean, Jim Miller caught. Okay, that's not even a fair comparison. I mean, Chase Hooper is not Demon Jackson, and Demon Jackson is has never been great. So I apologize for that. So yeah, Chase Hooper looked impressive. Um, yeah, it seems like he's improving every single fight. I'd like to see him against upper level competition because it seems like he's finishing these guys not in the dominant fashion that I want him to finish them in, but he's still doing pretty well in the fights. But to be fair to him, like I was feeling a little bit scared about picking him, right? Not scared about picking him, but about maybe Clay Guida getting an upset. So I guess maybe I shouldn't be too hard on him because that means Clay Guida is a little bit dangerous. But he looked very slow. On the ground, he tried, even on the feet, man. But it's sad to see a fighter who cannot accept that it's over. Tony Ferguson's friend. Um, yeah, it's really sad. On to the next one. Michael Chiesa versus Max Griffin. This is the first fight I got wrong. My subscribers didn't get this one wrong. I went with Max Griffin. My subscribers went with Michael Chiesa. To be honest, I felt like Chiesa looked horrible against Tony Ferguson. I felt like Max Griffin has fought decent, level fighters, especially grapplers like Kobe Covington. So in my head, I was like, I don't think Kobe Covington is good, to be honest. I just feel like, and I will forever say this: Kobe Covington has been using his what do you call it, his youth against older fighters. Whenever he fought people his age, he normally loses. Like he usually wins when he's fighting someone who's older than him and who is on a losing streak. I can't remember the last time Kobe Covington fought anyone who had a win and actually had any success. So, but I'll trash Kobe Covington when I do my final predictions. For now, let me just say Kobe Covington is a decent wrestler. Um, so I thought Max Griffin, because he had fought people like Kobe Covington, maybe that experience has given him an opportunity to maybe find a way to deal with takedowns. But I mean, both of them are trash, and I said it in my upsets predictions. It comes down to who's less trashier, and I thought Max Griffin would be less trash. Unfortunately, he is the one who's a lot more trashier. But obviously, and even on the feed, when he had an opportunity to land something, it felt like he wasn't doing anything. But once again, that's why I do my upsets predictions. I did say this is a competition between bad fighters. It just comes down to who's going to be worse, right? Like, so you from the beginning, this is the kind of fight you avoid. My subscribers got this one right. Unfortunately, I got this one wrong. This was the first fight of three that I got wrong. Sadly. Anyway, I'm starting to get regularly. I'm getting, like, on average, I normally get three fights wrong. And I'm starting to get used to it. So anytime I get the 4 or 5 fights wrong, like it destroys me. That's why I want to make sure that I improve so that 3 fights wrong is the worst ever in my opinion. Like on a bad night, it should be three. Like it shouldn't be any less than that. So I want to improve and make sure that that's my average. But still, nonetheless, it's good to know that on average I get like three fights wrong maximum. Like that's my average. If I get more than three wrong, it's an odd day basically. So yeah. Anyway, Max Griffin was the first fight I got wrong, which sucked. Um, but my subscribers got it right. Next time I'm not breaking ties. I'm just going to put two ticks. Okay, that wouldn't be helpful to my subscribers. Let me not do that. I don't like losing. Anyway, on to the next one. Cody Durden versus Joshua Van. My subscribers and I went with Joshua Van. A lot of people were picking Cody Durden. I didn't understand why because I honestly felt like Joshua Van was the better fighter. Even though in my upset predictions, I did actually explain that I felt like Cody Durden might have a shot, and that's why Joshua Van was not necessarily one of my mid-level confident picks. Largely because I felt like Van is a little bit shorter and smaller in that division, so he struggles a little bit. But I felt like he was going to probably win. I just wasn't confident enough to say he's definitely going to win, right? So that's why I didn't make him my one of my most confident picks. But the performance was decent. I don't feel like there was anything incredible. I just feel like he. I'm not going to be too harsh or too hard on him because the mere fact that a lot of people were picking Cody Durden, it shows that they felt confident in his abilities to actually win, and it shouldn't come as a surprise that Van eventually won a decision as opposed to a finish. I hope I'm remembering everything properly. Anyway, there isn't anything much to add to this. So on to the next one: Chris Weidman versus Eric Anders. My subscribers and I went with Chris Weidman. This was the second fight I got wrong, and then this was the first fight my subscribers got wrong. This fight I described it the same way I described the fight between Michael Chiesa and Max Griffin, right? If you watch my upset predictions, I did say, and I actually went back to Michael Chiesa and Max Griffin, and I was like, both. This fight is exactly the same as Michael Chiesa versus Max Griffin. It's a contest between two horrible fighters. It comes down to who's worse, basically. And it clearly showed that Chris Weidman was worse. Um, but I guess it's fine that he got beaten up. He was busy. He was busy cheating and poking other people's eyes. Next up is Michael Chandler. Who's the most dangerous person in the welterweight division outside of Islam? Yeah, I think Michael Chandler should fight Aman Sarukian after Islam Makhachev beat him. Like I think Michael Chandler needs to be beaten up like pretty decisively. Like anyone who cheats the way these guys are cheating and refusing to acknowledge what they're doing, like deserve to be beating the living crap out of them. I don't even know if I said that properly. Anyway, I don't feel too sad about getting this one wrong. I don't like Chris Weidman. I just wish this was the only fight I got wrong, not three. But yeah, it is what it is. Let me stop complaining. Three is not too bad, but I hate that I get any pick wrong. Anyway, um, I'm glad Chris Weidman lost. Um, I'm sorry if anyone lost money, but he sucks and he cheats, so he deserved it. But yeah, if you watch my upsets predictions, I try to make sure you avoid the most dangerous fights. I actually said, and I will repeat, I said this fight was a competition between to see who's worse. So it clearly shows that Chris Weidman was worse. There's nothing more to add. Like it's not like Eric Anders is going to go on to do anything special. So on to the next one: Randy Brown versus Brian Battle. My subscribers and I went with Brian Battle. Brian Battle, Brian Battle. I feel bad for Randy Brown, largely because I feel like he was winning. You know, he was actually winning. He looked good. But I don't know if it was low IQ decisions or was it. Uh, I don't know what was happening with him. Like he allowed himself to be clinched. I mean, I'm happy he allowed himself to be clinched because I picked Brian Battle. I'm not mad that I actually got that one right. I'm just saying he was making low IQ decisions. He could have easily won that fight if he made sure that he broke out of the clinch and actually made or forced the Brian Battle to strike. On the flip side, Brian Battle looked horrible. I don't know if it's the weight miss issue or whatever the case is. I mean, ultimately he won, but I think I don't feel like he won because of perseverance or because he's a dog. I think he won because um, Randy Brown was making stupid decisions. Like just the breaking out of the clinch would have been enough for him to actually win, and he didn't. I would have respected Brian Battles to win a little bit more if like he was getting hurt, but he found a way to maybe get him down and control him, even if he wasn't landing anything significant to hurt him. Um, just getting him down and just controlling him for me would have been more impressive than how he won because I don't feel like he had anything to do with winning. Just that the other guy was just making stupid decisions. Um, but at the same time, I did say this fight is 100%. I think not 100%. I think it was close to that. I said it was risky, and it was largely because I felt like Randy Brown is a really talented fighter. But if you're going life and death with Randy Brown, what are you going to do when you have to get into the rankings? Like those guys are going to just beat him up and destroy him. So um, yeah, that excitement about Brian Battle is no longer there. I still feel like he's decently good. Maybe I'm being too hard on him. Maybe it was the weight miss that had something to do with his performance. Maybe he'll come back a little bit more improved. I mean, experience helps you grow as a fighter, so maybe he'll come back improved. So yeah, my subscribers and I got this one right. Barely, but we still got this one right. On to the next one, Movzar Evloev versus Aljamain Sterling. My subscribers and I went with Movzar Evloev. I love how I broke down this fight, man. And when I break down fights, guys, I love live streams because I'm able to just explore ideas that I didn't even have when I started the stream. Because I remember one when I was busy streaming, the idea of the opponents that both of them have fought helped me make a decision as far as confidence goes, um, with regards to who I feel is going to win. Because I was like on the feed, I feel like Movzaev Loev is going to be better. He was doing significantly better against Arnold Allen on the ground. I don't think Aljamain Sterling is going to be a lot more dangerous than Diego Lopez. I think I was right because I think the problem in this particular fight, a lot of people were impressed by Aljamain Sterling being able to take Movza Evloev down, which was incredible. But I feel like, and even Movza Evloev said it. He was like, my game plan and what we trained for was not wrestling, right? We came in here with the intention of striking with this guy, but he took me down and tested my wrestling, and I had to implement it. So I think a lot of people don't take into consideration that when you don't do something in a training camp, even if you're good at it, you can still be outclassed a little bit with that particular element because you didn't refine it. It wasn't part of your preparation for the past couple of months. It wasn't your main focus. Maybe you did it a little bit just to make sure that it's there, but it wasn't the main focus, which it seems like that was what the camp was focused on striking. and Aljamain Sterling did not want any of that, right? But that because of that, I feel like it gave us one of the most incredible fights. I know a lot of people like to say, "Oh my God, these dudes only um, get the decision wins and everything like that." But decision wins like that, I don't mind them, and it's super exciting. It keeps you on the edge of your seat. You're like I wish that fight was 5 rounds, and it sucks that it was in the prelims, right? But at least, at the very least, even though I wasn't happy with Kron Gracie, with Kron Gracie on the main card, as well. Who else was on the main card apart from Kron Gracie who didn't deserve it? And Nate Landwehr and Duho Choi, like at least they delivered. But I still feel like Aljamain Sterling and Movza Evloev deserved to be on the main card because as far as technically entertaining fights, I don't feel like there's any other fight on the card that was as technically entertaining as the Aljamain Sterling versus Movza Evloev fight. And I saw Dana White saying something like it wasn't that great. I don't know if I heard that properly, which is sad. Which is sad, man. I think Movza Evloev and Aljamain Sterling, honestly, in my opinion, deserved the fight of the night. That was because a lot of the other fights were just dominations. So you can't really say it was fight of the night if it was one sided. Okay, maybe even the Cyril Gahn fight, it wasn't exciting. Like it wasn't really exciting. But I'll get to that. I can't think of any fight that was exciting. It felt like a one-sided. Even the Shafkat Rachmanov fight was not exciting. Like it was like us being shocked. Or not us, because I knew. If you listen to my breakdowns, I knew. I told everyone that what, I know a lot of people think Shafkat is going to run through Ian Gary, but I'll get to that. I'll explain once I get to that fight. But in my opinion, I feel like Movzaev Loev and Aljamain Sterling gave us probably the most technically entertaining fight on the card, and I don't feel like it's getting enough respect. But nonetheless, I picked Movzaev Loev. I knew he would be better, and he was. But I was surprisingly shocked by Aljamain Sterling's performance because I didn't think he was that great of a wrestler, which makes me feel bad, even worse for him. Because if he's that good, imagine what he could have done if he was training with people like Bilal or people like not even Bilal, people like Habib Nurmagomedov. Imagine how Aljamain Sterling would have been if he trained at AKA. That's one of the few things that make me sad for Aljamain Sterling because imagine if he can perform like that, fighting from Serra Longo. Imagine how he would have been if he was fighting under Javier Mendez and whew, only if. But anyway, that was an incredible fight. I don't feel like anyone lost, to be honest, in that particular fight because Aljamain Sterling came into that fight not having people like him, and now people have a little bit more respect for him than when he was even a champion, which is crazy. But I've seen a couple of people, say, like whenever you see an Aljamain Sterling post, you knew you're going to get negative comments in the comment section, and a large part of it is his fault. He likes to say stupid things, but apart from the stupid things he likes to say, he also was getting flagged for things that he didn't do, where as far as it comes to his performance. Um, so it's really refreshing to see him get that kind of appreciation. Because I've been picking Aljamain Sterling for the majority of the time I've been a fan of the UFC until this particular fight. I picked him on every single fight that he won. Um, the only fight I got wrong was actually. Oh, I also didn't pick him when he was fighting Sean O'Malley. Yes, I didn't pick him when he was fighting Sean O'Malley because I knew Sean O'Malley would beat him. I also didn't pick him on this particular fight because I knew he would lose. So those are the only two times I picked him to beat Calvin Cater. I picked him to be the TJ Dillashaw, Henry Cejudo, all the people that he fought. So it was good to see him get the love that and appreciation he deserves. Even though he says stupid things, but it's fine. When you perform like that, maybe you can say stupid things. On to the next one. Vicente Luque versus Temba Gorimbo. My subscribers and I, this was the third and final fight I got wrong on the card. And this was the second and final fight my subscribers got wrong on the card. Yes. So this was the last fight we got wrong. Temba Gorimbo. My subscribers and I went with Temba Gorimbo. Sadly, you know, it's because of him that I got 11 and not 12. This guy. This guy. But once again, I don't feel too bad because my upsets. That's why I say, you know what? If I was one of these other people, I would be charging for for my upsets predictions because I'm not even lying. If you watch them, you know what I'm talking about. The way I broke down, for example, Pantoja versus Ursig. I mean, Kai Kara France versus Ursig. There are so many fights that I broke down, including this one. And it was like I could see it was going to happen, but nonetheless, obviously, I went with who I thought like would probably win. In my breakdown, I said I felt like Temba would probably win. However, the biggest risk with this particular fight, and you can go back and check my upsets predictions. I said I feel like Temba will probably win, but the risk with this fight is that Vicente Luque is still in his prime. And because he's still in his prime, he can show up at any time and be good, like, and be good enough to actually make a run. But the problem with that is that we don't know when that's going to happen. Only Vicente Luque knows when it's going to happen, and that's one of the reasons why I said this fight is not like an upset is possible because I think Temba was the favorite. Yeah, that's one of the reasons why I said this fight just skip it. Even though I felt like Temba would probably win, but the biggest problem I had was that Vicente Luque is still in his prime, right? It's not like he's past his prime. Like if Vicente Luque was like 36 years old, I would be like I would comfortably choose what do you call him, Temba Gorimbo. But I was worried because I knew Vicente Luque is still in his prime, and I did mention that it's not just his prime. He also has the skills and experience to actually shock us. These were my exact words, to be honest. Once again, I know that a lot of people like to argue with me. You can always go check my upsets predictions. It's on the channel under live streams. I said exactly these words. Vicente Luque, it's not just the fact that Vicente Luque is in his prime. He also has the experience and the skills to actually shock everyone because he's still in his prime. And only one person knows when that's going to happen. And that person is Vicente Luque. And no one is going to know that it's going to happen because of his previous performances. So that's why he's going to shock us. These were my exact words. You can check if you don't believe me. So I knew this was a possibility. Unfortunately, we can't just assume that someone is going to show up. But I also even criticized Temba Gorimbo's skills. I felt like he was performing really well against terrible fighters. Not terrible, but not great fighters. And I was worried because of that, you know. And I also said that. So I was a little bit worried. So if you watch my upsets predictions, I told my people that's why he wasn't even on my locks, right? Because I knew that there's a possibility for a shocker. Um, so yeah, Vicente Luque won this one, and this concludes the fights that we got wrong. My subscribers got the 12 right. I got 11 right, which sucks. Anyway, Temba needs to improve if he wants to have any career in the UFC. On to the next one. Dominic Reyes versus Anthony Smith. My subscribers and I went with Dominic Reyes. I can't believe Dominic Reyes was one of my mid-level locks. Not lock, my mid-level confident picks. I don't use the word lock very loosely. When I say someone is a lock, it means I'm sure they're going to win. Like I said with Hamza Chimaev. Anyway, Dominic Reyes was one of my four mid-level confident picks, and all of them did not disappoint except Cyril Gahn. Even though he won, I feel like he was making stupid IQ decisions. It was sad to watch. In fact, you can go back and watch my reaction because for that fight I was live. Um, yeah, and I wasn't even my normal self because obviously there were people sleeping, so I didn't want to wake up other people. So yeah. Anyway, I'll talk about that fight when I get to it. So Dominic Reyes, I also think I said Dominic Reyes would finish Anthony Smith, um, and he did. I mean, Dominic Reyes looked really good. I was worried about his cardio when he went because there were moments where I was like, is he tired or is he? I don't know. But he actually showed us that he still got it. I mean, Anthony Smith landed something that looked like it was okay. Let me not even lie. There was nothing really, but still, it felt like there was a bit of threat. But even the takedowns, like Reyes was able to just deal with them very easily, which was really impressive. But that's how you should beat Anthony Smith if you're going to be at the top of the division. You can't be going to a decision with Anthony Smith and you expect to beat anyone else in the top five. But light heavyweight is trash, so anything can happen. Anyway, Dominic Reyes came through as one of my mid-level confident picks. So yeah, amazing performance. I'm looking forward to seeing him fight again. He's starting to get exciting again. Anyway, on to the next one. Nate Landwehr versus Duho Choi. I've been saying Joy all this time. Unintentionally, but when I speak fast, I think I call him Joy. Anyway, he gave me joy because he won spectacularly. I thought people were people who felt like they know everything. They were saying things like, I don't know what I'm talking about. Nate Landwehr is significantly better and everything like that. I was like, okay, guys, like I'm clearly stupid. Um, but yeah, anyway, I'm Duho Choi, and I remember saying that I saw Duho Choi training with Alex Pereira, both striking and even defensive grappling on the ground. I was like, this looks impressive, and I remember saying, I know that Alex Pereira is pulling his punches. He's not performing like obviously we all know that Alex Pereira would knock the living crap out of Duho Choi, but it was a technical striking match, and he was doing really well against Alex Pereira, and I was like, no way Nate Landwehr is going to perform better than this, right? And I saw the defensive grappling, and I actually even praised Alex Pereira, and I was like, I felt like Alex Pereira's takedown entries were really really good, and Duho Choi was doing the right things to get up, and I said these exact words in my upsets predictions. I was like, I felt like Duho Choi was doing the right things to get up, and ultimately it made me feel a little bit more confident in my pick of Duho Choi. Obviously, by the time I saw that video, I had already picked Duho Choi. I knew that it was going to be better. It just depends on whether or not he shows up. And did he ever show up, man? Like he beat up Nate Landwehr on the feet, then beat him up on the ground. That was like domination. Yeah, I'm really happy about that. They made it worth it being on the main card. Unfortunately, it proved Dana White right for the decisions that he made. So in future, is going to continue to ignore us because this time it worked out and he was right to some extent. It's not like Aljamain Sterling versus Movsar Evloev was not entertaining. I'm just saying, whenever Dana White is right, we should be worried because it means the decision that he made is going to reaffirm his belief that he was right and we were wrong. We don't know what we're talking about. But yeah, nonetheless, that was an incredible fight, a domination. Actually, it wasn't really a fight. Maybe these kind of fights deserve performance bonuses, not necessarily fight of the night. when the other guy. I'm not saying they got fight of the night. I didn't even check who got fight of the night. I'm just saying back and forth fights that even go to a decision deserve fight of the night as opposed to a one-sided beatdown. I think Dana White was upset that Kaya Sakura did not win the championship, and now he has to find a worthy opponent for Alessandro Pantoja, which is sad and good for Pantoja at the same time because now he has to rematch people for the third time now. It's not even going to be exciting too. But I think maybe Kai Kara France might be a little bit exciting. I don't know. I remember saying Davison Figueiredo should have fought for the belt a while ago, but I feel like he's better at the weight class that he's at right now. Anyway, let me not get off track. Duho Choi performed really well. There's nothing much to add to it. I'm looking forward to actually seeing him against high level competition, but I hope he does it as quickly as possible because he's running out of time. Like his prime is about to pass him. He doesn't have that much time if he truly wants to make a run for the belt. Anyway, on to the next one. Bryce Mitchell versus Kron Gracie. My subscribers and I went with Bryce Mitchell. I was a little bit worried about Bryce Mitchell because of his fight IQ, and he did everything I thought he would do, and everything I said I was worried about happened. Like that's why I'm like upsets predictions and final predictions as well, like top quality. So one of my fears, right, about Bryce Mitchell and Kron Gracie, that I wasn't too confident in this fight because of Bryce Mitchell's fight IQ, right? I was like, Bryce Mitchell is going to, and this is what exactly what I said. I was like, Bryce Mitchell is going to be like, you think I'm afraid to come to grapple with you on the ground, and then he goes down and he gets caught in something, and then he gets submitted, right? That didn't happen, but it was close to happening because number one, he did go to the ground, which is one of the things I feared because I felt like, why risk that when you have the advantage on the feet? However, I will give him the benefit of the doubt because it wasn't really his choice, to be honest. I mean, he chose to stay on the ground, but Crown Gracie. I'll get to Crown Gracie. Let me just finish with Bryce Mitchell. So he did go to the ground and I was panicking in that moment. I was like, no, no, I can't get four wrong. Three is fine, not four. That's all I was worried about. But yeah, but he performed really well on the ground. He was very smart. He was very safe until he almost got submitted. But yeah, he managed to find a finish. I'd say this was an impressive performance because I mean it's Kron Gracie, so the one place that he should have had an advantage, he didn't have that big of an advantage. Another thing, after seeing what Bryce Mitchell did, why are people afraid of going to the ground with this guy? Clearly, he's not as good as people make it out to seem. Like I didn't see anything threatening. I think there are more dangerous people in the UFC than Kron Gracie. I think people are scared by the surname, so they assume that he's as good as his predecessors. But he's not good, man. Like he's really not good. Like he wasn't really doing anything. Even he was busy pulling guard and not really doing anything until Bryce Mitchell was giving him openings to actually do something. But he wasn't creating those positions or those um, openings for himself to actually get the submission. It was basically Bryce Mitchell trying to get better positions that opened up for Crown Gracie to even get to that armbar or whatever submission he was attempting. Now, Crown Gracie, let's get to Crown Gracie. Dana White was upset. I don't know what the Gracie family have on Dana White, but they asked him about Clay Guida. They also asked him, I shut up. They asked him about Clay Guida. They asked him about Chris Weidman. They asked him about Anthony Smith, and he was like, "No, all of them should retire. Like they should retire." And then they were like, "So when you look at Kron Gracie's performance, he was, I don't want to use the word scoot because it sounds good. He was dragging his butt on the canvas of the octagon in his last fight, and in this fight he was busy." There's something I want to say, but I'm trying to think of the best way to say it without, offending people or being called names like. Okay, let me not even give people ideas. So this guy was getting into positions that I would feel comfortable with if it was a woman doing that to me. Personally, if it was a woman doing that to me, I'd be like, okay, cool. I know it's a jujitsu move or whatever the case is, pull guard, but that was very weird from a dude doing it over and over and over again. It felt really weird. So this guy was busy wrapping his legs around Bryce Mitchell and doing really nothing. It just felt like he wanted this guy on top of him. I feel like I don't understand why Crown Grace is still in the UFC. Okay, I do understand it's a certain, but I don't know why the UFC is putting up with it. Like he's not special. Like he's not doing anything. He's not very active. He's busy losing fights. Like there's nothing that makes sense for the UFC to be keeping this guy around and still giving him a high level competition. Like why are they still feeding him ranked competition? Like why? And why are they giving him favorable matches? I don't understand, because this, in my opinion, was a favorable match because Bryce Mitchell is not that great of a striker. So if Kron Gracie was actually interested in being a good MMA fighter, he would have worked on his striking and he would have somehow managed to find openings to actually submit Bryce Mitchell. But he didn't do that. It doesn't seem like he's interested in becoming good. He's just okay relying on his family's name and jiu-jitsu. This guy sucks. Hopefully the UFC cuts him. I don't know why Dana White got angry when he was asked why he's not cutting Kron Gracie because he sucks. He really sucks. Hopefully we don't have to see him again in the UFC. Anyway, on to the next one. Surogan versus Alexander Volkov. My subscribers and I went with Surogan. Let's talk about this fight, guys. I, even the awards, and I plan on being fair. Like the awards, there are nominations that are up right now, and it seems like Surogan versus Alexander Volkov is basically going to be the robbery of the year. And keep in mind, there's Francis Ngannou versus Tyson Fury in those nominations. But it seems like a lot of people feel like this was a horrible robbery, right? Maybe I need to watch the fight again. I just feel like, and I said it live, right? I said it live. I was like, I felt like Cyril Gahn won the first round, and then the second round, I felt like it was close. It's not like Alexander Volkov definitely won that round, right? Volkov definitely won the third round. So obviously, how they scored it is the problem. But to me, how I saw the fight, maybe I need to watch it again. I'm not saying I'm right because I was watching it live with the subscribers while I'm replying to people. So maybe I didn't see it how everyone saw it. I'm willing to accept that maybe I didn't see it the right way. But to me, Cyril Gahn, the first round was close, but I felt like Cyril Gahn did enough to actually win it. Second round, to be honest, it could have gone either way. Third round belonged to Alexander Volkov. So to me personally, I'm okay with people calling it a robbery, but it's not Petty Pimblett versus Jared Gordon, in my opinion. It's not Francis Ngannou versus Tyson Fury. But it is what it is. Even live, I remember saying when it got to the decision, I was like, this is going to be a split decision robbery for Cyril Gahn. Um, because I could see that if it comes to, and I use the word robbery because, not to say I felt like, maybe in the moment I felt like, okay, because Volkov was winning the third round, that's how it works. Whoever wins the last round, especially if it was a close fight, for most people they'll feel like, okay, this guy won, forgetting that other rounds have to be scored based on, I don't know how the judges see it. I'm not going to sit here and say that it wasn't a robbery, but at the same time, I'm going to say that the second round was not a domination by Alexander Volkov. People are behaving like Alexander Volkov dominated Cyril Gane in the second round. Like, it didn't dominate him. To me, it looked like a coin flip. Anyone could have gotten the second round, right? First round, close, but Cyril Gane. Second round, coin flip, I don't know who won. Third round, Volkov. So it came down to the second round for me, right? That's me. Doesn't mean my opinion is correct. That's just how I saw it. And on top of that, I was distracted. I was both watching the fight and responded to the comments. And doing the live stream. I think this was the first fight I was streaming actually. Um, yeah, I think actually I started with at the end of Bryce Mitchell versus Crown Gracie or something like that. I can't remember, but I was distracted. I can accept that. So maybe my opinion on that is not that great. But yeah, it seems like people are going crazy. But as far as performance, Cyril Gane was making stupid decisions. His body is not built for actually for wrestling. He's a striker. But he went in there and tried to wrestle. Why would you try to wrestle someone who actually has wrestling abilities? It was one of the most odd things, or maybe he was, and I remember saying it live. I was like, maybe he's feeling something that we don't see, but he feels it. He feels it. He's like, okay, this guy probably might knock me out, so let me find another way to actually win, which was sad. And I remember saying live, I was like, I didn't understand why Francis Ngannou left Fernand Lopez. I now get it, right? Because if you remember, Stipe Miocic dominated Francis Ngannou when he was with Fernand Lopez. Like, if I'm not mistaken, if I remember correctly, Francis Ngannou was losing fights through wrestling because while he was with Fernand Lopez, it was after he changed the gyms when that's when he started to improve and went back to knocking people out. I think if Cyril Gane has true aspirations of becoming a champion, unfortunately, it seems like he has to leave Fernand Lopez. Cyril Gane did it, it worked for him significantly. He's now even able to offensively wrestle. I think Cyril Gane needs to leave Fernand Lopez, unfortunately, for his career. I know maybe a lot of people might not feel that way. That wasn't good. For someone who has been in the UFC as long as he has been, and he's focusing on the wrong things. If you're an active fighter, why are you busy doing movies and things like that? There's always time. Like a fighter's peak is is between the ages of 30 and 35. Like that's your peak, and you're using your peak to act, dude. Like you can do that after you're 40. Like there's still time. It's not like when you're a fighter, you're going to retire when you're 50 or 60 years old, and you can't act at that point. You can retire at like 38 years old, like DC did. The DC retired at 38 or 39, and he had accomplished so much. Two-way division champion, multiple defenses. I mean, you can have a fruitful career, and then once you're done, focus on Hollywood and everything like that. So if you're making a movie in your prime, and missing a year of action of being active as a fighter, this is the result. This is what's going to happen. Instead of focusing on trying to improve your grappling and only focusing on it in camp, which is stupid. You can't say I want to improve my wrestling and then you focus on it for 3 months leading up to your fight. How do you expect to improve? You have to do it every day. But clearly he was busy focusing on trying to be a movie star, so that's why he was doing what he was doing. Anyway, my subscribers and I got this one right. On to the next one. Shafkat Rakhmonov versus Ian Gary. My subscribers and I went with Shafkat Rakhmonov. Another fight that I felt like would be close. A lot of people were overlooking Ian Gary, and I did say it. I said that I felt like a lot of people were overlooking Ian Gary. I said, if you look at Shafkat's resume, I felt like Ian Gary has fought a little bit better competition. Not too much, but slightly better. And people were overlooking that fact. And I explained that that's one of the reasons why I wasn't too confident in Shafkat winning, was because I knew that people were overlooking the fact that Ian Gary has fought more or less the same level of competition that Shafkat has fought. And even though he wasn't finishing them, he was not taking too much damage. Shafkat was finishing them, but taking damage, right? That was the difference. And I felt like it was going to be tricky. And I did say that I heard that he submitted him in gym and in camp, but training, and I remember making the example with Kamaru Usman and Gilbert Burns. I was like, Gilbert Burns actually submitted, I think, Kamaru Usman in training, but it doesn't mean that's how the fight is going to play out, especially when someone knows what, oh, I remember this guy was better than me here, so I have to avoid that. So if someone goes into a fight knowing that I'm not going to engage in one, two, three, four, five, then it's going to change the fight. And a lot of people are overlooking that, but I knew this would be like this. Um, and people are saying no, he's lost his aura and everything like that because they thought he was going to beat Bilal Muhammad. And if you remember, on one of my streams when I was talking to my subscribers, someone asked me, I think it was once upon an oil fest, it was like, dude, who you got between Shafkat and Bilal? I was like, you know what? I feel like Shafkat is good at jiu-jitsu, not wrestling, and it was proven by the fact that he was struggling to take down Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, and Bilal Muhammad took him down multiple times very easily, right? And that was one of my biggest issues with his ground game. On the feet, I felt like Bilal was doing significantly well against Leon Edwards, but Bilal was choosing to go to the easiest path to victory. And because of that, I was like, I think Bilal is probably going to beat Shafkat, right? I haven't done my official analysis, but I remember saying it long before this fight even came into fruition. I think it was two, three pay-per-views ago when they were asking me this question. And this fight actually proved everything I said. Shafkat is not good at wrestling. He can submit you. He's good at jiu-jitsu. He's not good at wrestling, right? He's a decent striker. He has power because you could see when he was landing on Ian Gary. But I think Bilal on the ground, Bilal is going to control him and get a decision win. Or even, I don't know. I don't feel like I don't feel like Shafkat is that good if Ian Gary has some level of a success on the ground. I feel like Bilal's wrestling is levels above that, especially since he's been training with Habib's team. I think he's gotten significantly better. I wouldn't even be shocked if Bilal somehow gets a finish against Shafkat. But I'll see when I analyze my predictions or the prediction when the fight actually happens because who knows, maybe my prediction might disagree with me. My prediction strategy might disagree with me, but right now I feel like Bilal would beat this guy up and probably even finish him. Even though Bilal is not a finisher, I don't think Shafkat is that good on the ground. If you know how to wrestle. So yeah, my subscribers and I got this one right. On to the next one. The main event, Alessandra Pantoja versus Kai Asakura. This one I didn't get to watch it how I wanted to watch it. I saw the whole fight, just that I was distracted by the fact that my phone was off. I wanted to finish streaming. I was disheartened, and so my focus was not as much as I wanted because this was an incredible dominant performance by Alessandro Pantoja. He was he was winning the striking exchanges on the feet. That's crazy. That's crazy because But I remember explaining to everyone when I was doing my upsets predictions. I was like, Kaya Sakura is ranked in the world, and I remember saying to my subscribers, I was like, I don't look at rankings, especially UFC rankings. They're not really important to me because there are politics in those rankings. There are other rankings like typology rankings. For example, I also want to eventually have like proper world rankings, but I need to grow this channel effectively before I get to that point. Um, I want to have world rankings because rankings are not just a number that shows that you are ranked or how high in the world. I remember telling people that if you took number 15 and made him fight number 100 in the world, who do you think is going to win? Number 15. Why? Because he has faced a lot more experienced fighters. He wouldn't be ranked number 15 if he was facing lower level competition. And that's one of the biggest reasons why I was very skeptical about Kai Asakura because despite how good he was, it clearly shows he wasn't fighting high level competition, right? Even the people that he has fought who are in the UFC are not even in the top five, if I'm not mistaken. People like Manel Cobb, who I don't think is that great, even though I picked him for this upcoming card. I think that's going to be a close fight, but I guess I'll just have to wait and see when I break down the fights. But even then, I don't feel like the opponents that he faced um, who were already in the UFC were doing that crazy enough for me to be like, oh, there's this guy who he beat and he's doing really well in the UFC. So in my head, I was like, number one is fighting number 49. I don't think it's gonna go well, and it played out how I thought it would play out because I felt like there was a massive experience discrepancy in that particular fight, but I also left a space open to be proven wrong. I was like, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he will come in there and shock us all. But I expected Pantoja to actually win and to win dominantly. But I was also worried about the element of the unknown. I didn't know how good Asakura would be because it's easy to look good against people who are not that high level. But at the same time, maybe I felt like in my head, I was like, maybe he's that good and he's going to come in and actually show us that he's that good. But yeah, I felt like it played out how I expected it to play out. I didn't feel like it made sense for number 49 to fight number one in the world because clearly the other guy has been facing high level competition and the other guy has been facing people on the come up, right? Even if you are that good, you haven't faced anyone who's going to challenge you to improve and get better. And the fight basically played out how I felt like it would play out. I'm going to be doing my predictions for Covington versus Buckley on Wednesday, final predictions, and then upsets predictions on Friday, um, or Thursday, because I think Friday there's a possibility I might be going somewhere. So I might do the upsets predictions on Thursday, between Thursday or Friday. I'll see what I do. Um, so yeah, I'm going to reply to all your comments now, and then I'll bounce. This was an incredible experience. Like I went live briefly for UFC 310, and it was incredible, guys. I don't want to lie. I'm addicted to streaming, to live streaming the fights. Now I'm trying to think of ways on how I can actually make this happen. It was a different feeling, and I wish I was alone so that I could be as crazy as I want to be. But I'll get to that point. I'm close to getting to that point because I'm very animated when I watch it during the day because I know everyone is awake. But when it's at night, because that's normally when UFC plays live in my country, I'm very animated. But my reaction, even my calm reaction, was really good because I was breaking down the fights effectively. I saw a couple of people coming back to the comment section and say, "What do you think the fight? Where do you think the fight is?" And I was like, "Okay, the fight is like this and this and that." And I was like, "Oh, that's pretty cool, you know." Even though like I'm not as crazy as I am when I watch them like normally on normal South African time. After the whole pay per view or the fight card has happened, I feel like I was adding a lot of insight for maybe people who wanted to bet live or whatever the case is. I never really encourage. I think this is one of the first times I've ever said the word bet specifically, because I do my predictions because of the passion, not necessarily for any other reason. You guys take my predictions and bet with them. That's your decision. My goal is just to be the best at what I'm doing right now. What you do with my picks and my breakdowns is up to you. But yeah, nonetheless, I feel like it was really incredible to do that, and I'm going to try to do that this week, and most importantly next year. Like, I think that's something I need to fight really hard to make happen. I was very relaxed about that particular element. I need to work hard to make sure that I do that a little bit more. Anyway, let me get to the comments so that I can bounce. Let me see the battery. Okay, the battery is on 33. It might start to run. It seems like my phone doesn't want me to have fun. Whenever I'm enjoying something, it just says, "Hey, dude, time's up. Stand up and go charge your phone." Let me start replying. Um, Kamran, Kamran said, "I'm looking forward to your next prediction video." I appreciate that, man. I put in a lot of work in them, and it's incredible to hear people appreciate the work. What is your name, bro? My name is Kotatso. Yeah, my name is Kotatso. It's a very challenging name to write. But if you watch my videos, especially the ones where like what do you call it? Watch the last year's awards. Yes, watch last year's awards. They are on the homepage of the channel. You'll see the spelling of my word because I introduced myself for the. I'm Kotatso Moledi and I'm your host and everything like that, and it appears on the screen as I'm saying it. So my name is there. Once upon a slugfest. Once upon an oil fest, by the I feel that way as well. I feel less excited for some reason. Yeah, it's I understand because the cards are not as great as they used to be. R, honestly, you're doing a great job. I appreciate that, my guy. It means a lot. You know, in the comment section of the shorts, there are people who like to trash me, but I've been so consistent that it no longer bothers me. I think it used to bother me back when I wasn't consistent with my prediction results. So now a bad night is not frequent. Like, and for me, a bad night is getting like 7 out of 12. For me, that's a bad night. For other people, it's not. So that's a good thing in my opinion. So even when like I'm having not too much of a great day, I get helped by the idea that what, majority of the time my predictions are really good. So I really appreciate that. I put in a lot of work into this channel. Limbu, Alhamdulillah, I will smash your guy. What are you saying? um, who are you going to smash though? I don't know who you're going to smash. Once upon a time, once upon a time, glad I'm not the only one. No, yeah, he's once upon an oil fest. I feel like that a lot of Muslim Russian fighters have killed it. No, dude. I mean, who though? And I remember you making this point in the last stream. You were like, the Muslim fighters have killed it, but Islam, I think, is one of the most exciting fighters in the UFC. Umar is also exciting. Like Habib was also exciting. Um, Hamza Chimaev is one of the most exciting. So for me personally, I honestly would like to disagree that it's the Russians. I feel like it's the UFC. doing a good job at putting two cards together. They're just throwing things together at the spur of the moment. Is it the South Korean guy? My guy, I can't read your language. Um, are for your next locks and predictions, I'm betting the mortgage on it. God is great. You will lead me to you will lead me to financial freedom. Don't do that, dude. I'm not that confident in my picks, so don't be too that confident in me, man. You can't be betting the mortgage on that. Bet responsibly. Grow gradually. Even if you feel confident when you have when you win. Like say I've seen when I was streaming live, there was this guy who told me he just made like $1,100 because of a parlay that he got from me, right? So when you win that kind of money, what you do is that you take maybe half of it, you save it, half of it you invest it back into this whole thing. And then you grow gradually. It's not like my predictions are going to ever get too bad. Obviously I'm going to have off nights, but I don't feel like my predictions are ever going to be bad. So you can do that gradually and don't put the whole entire amount on it. Like grow gradually. If you invest portions of what you win responsibly. Like let's say for example, you take a variety of parlays, and maybe some of the fights that you feel like you hear me saying I'm confident in them, or the safe predictions that I normally post on the channel, in the video section, and then you parlay that. I don't know, like find a way to actually do it responsibly, and I don't know, make money long term. Trying to do that, and what if the time you put like all your money into my predictions is the time I'm having a bad night. Like, so I don't encourage anyone to do that. Try to do it responsibly. You can still get to millions if you manage your money properly. And you tell yourself you don't put all your money into one bet. If you have 1,000 to bet, then you take like 200, you put it on this particular bet. 200, you put it on this one, so that even if this one doesn't hit, the other ones might hit, and then you can make all your money back. That's how I view it. I'm busy giving financial advice, but I'm just advising you guys, like putting all your money into one thing, one prediction. It's not a good idea. Ultimately, I don't want any one of you to lose any money. That's one of the reasons why I work so hard, because I know you guys use my thing is to bet. So I try to make sure that I'm as accurate as possible. Because I remember I heard this guy who came into the comment section and told me, dude, I didn't have rent money and I followed your predictions and now I'm sorted. And it wasn't a gambling issue. Apparently at work they were not paying them, so he took a chance at my channel and was like, you know what, let me put what I have on this guy, and he actually I think he made a lot of money from that, because he was like, no, now I can pay my rent, I can do this, I can do that. So that touched me, and that's one of the reasons why I try my best to make sure that my predictions are accurate, because ultimately I know that there are a lot of people who are investing their hard-earned money, and I would like to make sure that they get it back and make a return on that. And that's why I feel I sleep comfortably knowing that my channel is profitable. Since I think since the beginning of the year, my prediction, if anyone has been following all my predictions, betting 100 rand on every single prediction I make, they've made profit by like right now, they made all the money back that they've placed on bets, and then they even have profit right now. I'm not encouraging anyone to do that. I'm just saying my channel is actually profitable. My prediction accuracy is above 70%. I'm approaching 80% right now. So I'm trying to make sure that the prediction is as accurate as possible. But I'm begging you guys, be responsible. Like, I don't want anyone to lose money and be in a bad situation, because it's MMA. Anything can happen. Anyway, let me stop preaching and move to the next one. Trend says weak. I don't know if you're saying I'm weak or. a wide, but yeah, whatever you meant, that's good. Mario, good morning, brother. You're very good at making picks. I always check who you have. I appreciate that, my guy. You always have the best predictions. I always check with you. I appreciate that, my guy. I work hard. It doesn't come easily. That's why I don't have a social life. But I'm not going to blame my social life on the channel. It's largely because I work a full time job and then I do the channel as well. So maybe once I can focus on the channel alone, maybe my social life will improve a little bit. But I'm not an extrovert. I think my social life will be attending live sporting events. So there's this promotion called EFC in South Africa. I can get free tickets there. We have a really dope relationship, so I can get tickets there. I would like to start attending those a little bit more frequently. I'd like to start attending like comedy events and like live comedy events. I'm not the kind of guy who clubs or does like concerts and everything like that. So I'm not blaming my social life on this channel, but I can tell you that the only time I have an opportunity to assess or to analyze the fights and make predictions is on Saturday, because throughout the week I'm working. That's why my predictions normally come out on Saturday, the week before the actual card, because if I try to actually make predictions any other time, I wouldn't be successful. So Saturday I'm not working, so that's the only time I have to make predictions. So I put in a lot of work into this channel, and that's why it confuses people when I'm down because my predictions were not accurate. Because imagine if I was betting money, but even if I'm not betting money, I'm betting my own time. I'm investing my time. So if I'm investing that much time and I'm not even good at what I'm doing, it affects my confidence, because I'm like, then why am I making this much effort if I'm not even good at what I'm doing? So I put in a lot of work. Believe me, I put in a lot of work. Every like the predictions are not good in JB. I put in a lot of work, and it makes my day to see like some people appreciate it, because it's not always when people appreciate what I do. Plus, YouTube is not paying me yet, but I think that time is coming. It's very close. So I don't get anything. I don't bet on fights. I'm not getting paid yet. So the appreciation helps sometimes. Like it's like, oh, okay, it's good that people see what I'm doing. So I appreciate that a lot. Trend, don't hate, congratulate. Okay. Trend is saying generic words. Um, let me see. Kamran, tell me something about your log fights and mention the video with subtitle. Yeah. Um, I don't mind explaining this. I know that maybe my regular viewers will maybe have heard me say this a couple of times. Guys, go through the entire channel, the community section, the shorts section, the video section, the live section. I do everything on this channel alone, right? So subtitles, I've done subtitles before. I made a short film in the past and I did subtitles on my own. Subtitles are a nightmare, especially because my laptop is very slow. So it's gonna be hard for me to do subtitles, and even doing subtitles on YouTube, it's a lot, man. It's really a lot. So I'm going to wait until I have, because I understand that a lot of people around the world watch my channel. So the people from Brazil, people from Russia, people from um, Spain, France, there are people from different parts of the world who watch my channel, right? And I understand that a lot of them want to hear what I'm saying. It's not that I don't want to, but go through the channel. I do everything alone. Quite literally, I'm not even saying there's someone on the side who does the. There's no one. If I die today, the channel ends. Like that's very bleak, but that's true. Like no one else is doing what I'm doing. Like that's why I want to have a couple of people helping me, so that even when I'm sick, certain things can continue happening on the channel. But quite literally, right now, there's only one person who's analyzing the fights, who's editing the videos, who's coming up every single thing that you see on the on the channel, the awards, the person who's posting. Like, quite literally, no one helps me. Even posting the videos and scheduling them, I do everything myself. Responding to comments, I do everything myself. So do not think that I don't want to. Like, I don't have anyone helping me, and it's a lot of work. And I also have a full time job. So I promise you guys, I'm going to add subtitles. I promise you, I'm going to add timestamps to the videos. But at this point, I'm unable to. It's already a lot for me alone to keep this channel active. Um, just go through it, and I think maybe you'll understand, because every single day there's a video that comes out. Sometimes there's even 4 or 5 videos in one day that comes out. So it's not that I don't want to. I hope you guys understand. I promise you, I'm going to make sure that I do add subtitles. But if you want to watch the videos, they are on the channel. Like, every single section on the channel is active, so you can go through it and check. um Once upon an Oliphas, the pressure on you to get predictions right from a lot of your subscribers and random gamblers coming across the channel must be insane. Yeah, it's crazy, but in the past I used to feel the pressure. I don't have that pressure anymore because I figured out a consistent strategy, right? I'm no longer worried. Before before my strategy was reliant on largely on what I think, right? So now I've removed a large proportion of my thinking, and I've focused on things that I know. These things are not going to change. Even 20 years from now, I still feel like my prediction accuracy will still be relevant and will still be good. It won't change because I feel like the things that I've identified that help me analyze fights, I'm able to be more confident. And obviously, with time, like, the more time has progressed, I've realized that, oh, I've managed to get 100% accuracy. On a normal day, my prediction accuracy is like 76%, 78%. For example, the last card, UFC 310, I think I got 78%. My prediction accuracy was 78%, which sucks because I was 2% away from getting 80%. But that's beside the point. So the more my prediction accuracy is above 75%, and on a bad night, my prediction accuracy is somewhere around 60 something percent. So that gives me a lot of confidence in the fact that I've been able to do this for an extended period of time, and it's a strategy that is currently being tested because I've been doing this for about less than 6 months right now. The channel is over a year old, but people who are new to the channel, they don't know that my predictions were horrible last year. Not horrible, but sometimes I would be good, sometimes I'd be bad. I was very inconsistent. My predictions were decent, but they got better as time progressed. At the beginning of the year, they got better. UFC 300, they got significantly better because I think I got 2 fights wrong on UFC 300. UFC 310, I think I also got 2 fights wrong. No, I think UFC 300, I only got 1 fight wrong. Yes. UFC 310, I think I got two. Not UFC 310, UFC 301, I got two wrong. UFC 302, I think it was Makhachev versus Poirier, I think I got one wrong. So it started to improve, but I still felt like it was it was not based on something that I was sure wouldn't change, right? There are certain elements of my prediction that I'm sure that that's why I'm confident in my predictions. Number one, because I've tested it for a lengthier period of time. I'm also looking forward to see how this strategy performs over a period of a year. Because in less than 6 months, I've been able to get 100%, something that I wasn't able to do since I started the channel last year. So the strategy works really well. But I'm going to continue trying to improve it, but without making the answer too long because this battery is not behaving the right way. The pressure was there in the beginning, but now it's starting to go away because I'm starting to have a little bit more confidence in the fact that, I know I'm going to get this right. Even if I get two or three wrong, that's usually the maximum that I get wrong. And even on a bad night, I hardly even ever go below 50%. Like, that's when it's horrible. But I never even go below 50%, even on a horrible night, So, and those horrible nights hardly ever come. So those type of things, consistency and continuing to actually have correct predictions for a long period of time, I think it's given me confidence, especially because I know that it's not luck. Like, I'm not guessing who's going to win. I'm not like, okay, I saw this guy fight, so I think he's better than this guy. I don't do that. There are so many things that I take. That's why it takes me hours. That's why I need a Saturday to analyze fights, because I look at so many things. But those things are very important in the ultimate decision to say this guy is going to win, right? And that's why my prediction is so high. But I need to increase it. But yeah, the pressure is not as high as it was in maybe a couple of months ago. I'm getting a little bit comfortable in the fact that I know now that my predictions are really good. And it shows because my prediction accuracy consistently grows and improves. When the year started, I think my prediction accuracy was around 60 something. Right now, it's approaching 80%. For over nearly 300 fights predicted. This whole year, actually, it's more than 300 fights predicted. But I'm going to go off of what this guy has been recording, even though he misses some fights. But I think I'm going to go off of what he was saying. But anyway, let me go to the next question because this phone looks like it wants to interfere with my conversation with you guys. Turk, can you speak Turkish, Azerbaijan? No, I can't. I can't speak a lot of other languages except the African languages and the English. So yeah. So I wonder if you were like, can you speak Setswana? Can you speak isiZulu or isiXhosa? Even though I can't speak a couple of them properly, but my native language is Setswana, which is a South African language. So I can't speak any other language. But just so you know, in South Africa we have like 12 official languages. So those are the main languages that I can speak. But I'll try and learn because now my channel is a bit more international. But I'm going to find a way. Even though I don't speak your language, I'll make sure that maybe I add subtitles to make sure that everyone is accommodated. Riley Love, you're very white. Is it your reverse psychology way of saying I'm very black? Once upon an all fest, whenever he faces people his age, he normally loses. So imagine when he fights a younger Buckley while being out of his prime at 36. Yeah, that's why I said that Buckley is definitely going to. If Buckley loses, I'll be very shocked because I feel like this is Buckley's fight to win. Kobe's not good, man. Like he's never been good. He just weaponized this youth to beat older people who are on losing streaks. He's never been good. A random person, Luke blew my mind. You and me both, but for me personally, I saw it coming though. Once upon an All Fest, I thought Durden would be able to get the takedowns when needed, and get a close decision. But to be fair, he actually got them. So don't be too hard on yourself, my guy. Uh, Mirsho Beg. I hope I pronounced your name properly. Hello, brother. How are you, man? Once upon an All Fest, he had bad cardio because he blew his gas tank in round one. Yeah, I agree. Milchok, hey, how are you doing, man? I'm only now replying um to comments, so I'm only seeing this now. A, my friend. Can you please be quiet for a couple of seconds? Um, Random person facts. R. I think this is the other the. I think you have an imposter. R has an imposter. Like this guy. I don't think this is the original R that's always on my stream. Someone has your name R. Wash your gold teeth while this time would be a nice content. Oh, it's you. I was surprised. I was like, is R saying I should be quiet? He never says that, so I was a bit shocked. Um, Cheesy Rich. Brown got kind of cut because of weight miss. Yeah, I think so. But it also has happened to me, so I'm not going to defend it too much because people like Kelvin Gastelum came in overweight and sat on top of Daniel Rodriguez, who was winning the striking exchanges. So unfortunately, they've done it to me against the people I've picked. So I hate that it happened to other people, but I mean, it happens to me as well. So I'm sorry about that. Tweezy Rich, sup Slugfest, how are you, my dude? How are you? Welcome to the stream. Random person, W Heat fan, Tweezy Rich, prayer hands. Random person, thoughts on lifestyle? What kind lifestyle, as in what? Can you elaborate a little bit on that? R with another guy called R. Okay, yeah, I think I was right. There's another. There are two R's, right? Random person, LOL. No, I could see that. I was like, random person, your evil twin. Yes, that's his evil twin. Like I was surprised. I was like, no, R wouldn't say this to me. But I was like, oh, maybe it's him. He's just it's just turning like his character arc. I don't know. So yeah, I guess that's your evil twin. I should keep that in mind that you have an evil twin. Twizy Rich, man, honestly, up to me, my favorite. Up to me, my favorite. Okay, go frontal. You the best. Predicacy, man. I appreciate that, even though I don't know how you wrote that, but I appreciate that. I work hard to make sure that I give you guys the best predictions. I'm random person, fair enough. I'm random person. Not gonna lie, I'm a bit of a casual. I've been um FW all of years projects so far. Hype for ADL 2025. What's that, man? What's ADL 2025? Tuesday Rich. Aljo robbed my happiness out of Grabo Evloev just to not throw anything he could have easily won. Yeah, I agree actually. I felt like Aljo was just focused on controlling and not landing anything. I think that could have made the fight a little bit closer. Random person, my favorite is Lifey right now. Okay. Mario, Aljo won 1 and 3. I don't think so, man. He was controlling, and the fight is judged on damage. And I feel like Evloev was controlling a bit like the later halves of the fight normally. So I don't think he won, man. Tweezy facts Mario. Okay. Tweezy thinks Aljamain Sterling won. Okay. Um, Result close though. Yeah, it was. Random person. Yep. Mario Tweezy Richie. They agree. Random person. Clon got the nuked. Tweezy Richie not that mad. Evloev got it though. He wasn't throwing anything on the ground. It kind of frustrating. I think it was Aljo who actually made that happen to himself because he didn't do much in order to get the win. If he Mario ruined my night, brother. I had high hopes for Aljo. He's still good though. I feel like his stock went up even though he lost. Twizy Ridge thought my breakdown was at least the spot on. Was a complete 50-50, so went with the big dog. I get that, but for me personally, a lot of people like to criticize me when I don't pick underdogs. I pick underdogs a lot of the time, but I'm not going to pick an underdog if I don't feel like they're going to win, right? So, and in most cases, Tweezy Rich, for example, I think last week Tweezy was right. I think Tweezy got a little bit more correct than I did. I can't remember. So it happens, man. Don't be too hard on yourself. Random person, Evloev is the real deal. To be fair, yeah, he is, man. Aljo has hope still. Yeah, I agree. He performed really well. I just feel like he should have landed a little bit more. Choose Rich, Ilya chins Evloev. To be honest, I guess we'll see. That's an interesting match. And it's very promotable because it's O versus O. Um, and I hope they do it now before. Um, I hope they do it now before. What do you call him? Sterling, Evloy fights another person and does not have a fight as exciting, or they make him fight um, Diego Lopez because I think Alexander Volkanovski is going to be fighting Ilia Tuporia next. So I think Evloy versus Diego Lopez 2 is important, and the winner will get a title shot. Um, Once upon an oil fest, Evloy looks very beatable now, in my opinion. It depends. We've never really seen Ilia Tuporia grapple except against the Bryce Mitchell, and he only grappled after he had damaged Bryce Mitchell. So we don't know how good he is, but that's possible. Ilya is good, so I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Twizy Rich, to be honest, the random person, Ilya looking unbeatable right now. Yeah, not really though. I feel like Ilya has power, but he gets hit a lot, right? Max Holloway was having success. I feel like he was winning a couple of exchanges. I think Ilya Tuporia's um, best qualities are number one, his chin, his ability to I don't know what I forgot the actual word that I would use to flow with the punches basically. So when he gets punched, it doesn't hit him clean. And number three, cardio. Those three things are his best weapons. He has power. He doesn't get hit clean, and he has cardio. So, but if you look at the fights, I mean, Volkanovski was having success. Max Holloway was having success. Just that the problem is when the fight goes longer, it's either Ilya starts to read you a little bit better, or the other guy slows down and he doesn't. And because of that, he's still fast enough to knock you out and find you. And that's what happened with Max Holloway and what do you call him, Alexander Volkanovski. So I feel like Ilya Tuporia is beatable. That's why Ilya Tuporia said he's going to submit Islam Makhachev because he knows Islam is technically good at striking. He's not going to allow Ilya Tuporia to get close enough to knock him out. So the best way he feels like he's going to beat Islam is on the ground, not on the feet, because he knows Islam is technically good on the feet. He's not going to give him an opportunity to knock him out. That's why from the get-go, Ilya has been saying he's going to submit Islam Makhachev because I think he doesn't think he's going to have any success on the feet. Obviously, he's going to have success, but I don't think he believes he can knock out Islam Makhachev. So yeah, I think he's beatable. It just takes the right guy, and I think that guy is Islam. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see if that fight ever happens. Because I feel like Ilya has a lot of work still to do in his division. Let me check my battery. 17. Okay, I can still respond. Tuesday Rich is good, but Evloev arguably could have lost to Allen and now Sterling. His O will go soon. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. If Evloev was performing like this against the lower level fighters, I'd be like, yeah, you have a good point, my guy. But Evloev is performing like this against former champions, top level fighters. Diego Lopez is number 5 right now. Like he's performing like this with former people who have been in the top 5. People like Arnold Allen. You know, if Evloev was having these kind of fights with the bottom 15, I'd be like, yeah, you have a point, right? But I don't think so. I don't think that's the case for me personally. I feel like it's the same situation with Hamza Chimaev fighting Gilbert Burns. Gilbert Burns is very dangerous on the ground. Hamza Chimaev avoided it decided to stand on the feet and was aggressive and chasing a finish. It made the fight competitive. So there are a lot of elements when you're fighting the best in the world. And I feel like Evloev is fighting the best in the world. And unfortunately, he's having a harder time at having a bit of success at finishing fights than other people, but he's still good enough to actually win the fight, right? So I don't. I honestly, I feel like he's still really good because he's struggling against the best in the world, not scrubs, you know. But that's my view. The nice thing about this channel is that we can disagree and still get along, and that's why I introduced the subscribers picks because I know some of you are like, this guy's crazy. So I'm okay with you guys saying, nah, you're wrong. And an example is to like yesterday, the subscribers got 12 right, I got 11 right. So you were right about one more fight, which is perfectly fine. Okay, not for me, but nonetheless, it's perfectly fine to disagree. It also helps me learn because hearing your perspectives, that's another reason why I love to read your comments, because it's important for me to actually continue to learn. It helps me be a better analyst. I didn't like to call myself that up until now because I feel like my predictions are a little bit decent now, so that I can be a little bit better at what I'm doing, basically. So I'm open to not agreeing with you guys, as long as it's a healthy discussion. Mario, if Loyev is a dog, I respect him. Just thought Aljo would take it. He almost did though. Random person. I don't know if Lopes could get it done. I don't think he will, but we'll see. Mario, Ilya sleeps Movzam. I guess we'll see. Because sometimes these people that you think are going to lose end up actually surprising everyone. Random person against Ilya. Okay. Well, my best week for predictions got 36 out of 8,000 on Topology. Wow. Got 36 out of 8,000 on Topology. Wow. Okay. That's incredible. My subscribers got 12 out of 14. I don't know, but I'm not going to do rankings. Maybe we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Random person, do y'all think Kai Kara France should get a title shot? I think so, man. I think it's only fair. Um, Aiden French, what's up, bro? What MMA news we on, broski? We're doing prediction results for UFC 310. It's basically a recap and actually me having a conversation with my people. Mario, I'd say Lopes 25%, Ilya 75%. I agree. Khabib Abdul Mono Pivac. Oh, what a name. Who talking about MMA here? Me? Hello, I'm Khabib. Mario, I think it was understandable. Kai was a champion in his division that he left to come to the UFC. Yeah, but I didn't feel like he would be that good. Random person, no way, Khabib. A random person, you are basically Mario. Hello, Habib. I'm Conor McGregor. Random person, crying emoji. Habib, let's talk now. Okay, it's going down in the comment section. Tweezy Rich Gorimbo, yeah, Gorimbo disappointed us, man. Mario Gorimbo, yes, that was bad. Tweezy Rich, Luca just decided to show up. Yeah, he did, man. Mario, she was insane. Yeah, it was. Habib. Anyways, Chad to y'all, I think should come out of retirement. Yes, Habib, come out of retirement. Random person, Crafty Vet, Vicente Luque, yeah. Um, man, at Fizzy Ridge, I predicted the second round sub for Luque. Wow, that was close. Once upon an Olifers, Gorimbo is overrated as fuck. Yeah, I agree. Mario, good shit, Wamai. Wamai, thank you, sir. If only I got the round. But it was still close, man. Mario, if Sterling and Temba won, I would have been up 200K. I know y'all probably won't believe me though. No, why wouldn't we believe you though? Like, I think that's actually impressive, my guy. That's actually very, very impressive. Random person, geez, that would have been a lot, man. I agree, Twizzy Rich. Since you had Sterling in there, I believe you. That would have boosted the lay massive. And it also comes down to how much you actually bet. I actually do believe you, though. KO Entertainment. Bro, you are a casual. Okay. KO Entertainment. You know nothing about fighting, bro. Yeah, I'm a casual, my guy. So I guess a lot of casuals have like 13,600 subscribers. It must be fun to be a casual. Random person. Okay, bro. Random person. Random as. Once upon an oil fest, get out. um, Mario. Only casuals throw around the word casual. Yeah, in most cases, it's casuals who usually call other people casuals. I don't know why. Twizy Rich KO2 Gorimbo. Yeah, I think KO actually bet Gorimbo, so is really mad. Mario got every other fight right, brother. Yeah, that's actually good, man. KO Entertainment. Do you train in type of martial arts? Let alone MMA. You're given the most casual opinion. Wow. KO Entertainment. Guy had Sterling against. Guy had the Sterling against Movza. Ah, KO. Once upon an oil fest, get out troll. They make me laugh now. KO Entertainment. Hello, let me guess. Ian Gary too. Ah, so you don't watch my channel, right? Like you say, I picked Aljamain Sterling. I picked Ian Gary. Yeah, you know what? For the sake of this stream, I picked them. Or rather, for the sake of answering you, I want to see where this goes. I hope I'm able to respond and you are able to respond. Yeah, I picked them because clearly you haven't been listening to what I was saying. So let's go with your thought process. I picked them. Mario, brother, it's my opinion. If you disagree, kick rocks. No, I mean, I don't think Mario. I think he's trying to troll me. I don't think he's talking to you. I think he's trying to troll me. Don't listen to him. I think he's talking to me. Random person, rather be a casual than a no lifer. Not gonna lie. Yeah, that's why I'm like, if casuals have like 13,600 subscribers and over 3.2 million views in the space of like just over a year, I mean, I'll be a casual. Call me a casual if that's what casuals have, because I fit the criteria. KO Entertainment Troll, I'm giving you my opinion, bozo. Once upon an oil fest, he didn't have Sterling and Ian, bro. Yeah, clearly he's not necessarily watching my predictions. It's just saying random things. Mario, shaft cut by decision. Um, KO Entertainment. Okay, who won? Volk or Gun? KO Entertainment. Let's see if you are for real a casual. Random person. Volkov. Tuesday Ridge. KO Entertainment, we don't really have to prove anything to you, though, dude. If you want to know if the channel is good or not, go through the channel, go through my live streams, go through my videos, and stop making us take quizzes to prove ourselves to you. Tuesday Rich, skull images. Once upon an Alves, Volkov round 2 and 3. Okay. Oh my god. Um, 12 batteries is running out. Wamai Reyes is gonna get a run through if he fights too high up the rankings, in my opinion. I mean, there are winnable fights for Reyes, to be honest. Random person, Gun was on the floor chilling. KO Entertainment gassed out. Habib, let me tell you something. Tell us, Habib. Wamai. Um, I did predict Reyes round 2 KO, but that wasn't fun to watch. Smith, just that, take that beating. Smith should have retired. Like, sometimes forcing yourself to continue doing something is not a good idea. Um, Mario, first the fight was too close. It didn't even touch that fight. Which one? The Kennedys, the Choco fight? A random person, Kimuru attempted. Oh, Kimura attempt that never prospered. Yeah. Once upon an all fest, Gunn broke his foot. Apparently, I saw an X-ray of it on Insta. Okay, but he's still focusing on the wrong things. That's why his foot is breaking. To the rich, Gunn got given a freebie. Honestly, just cause he lost to Jones and they gonna make him look good. Yeah, I agree. Habib, John Jones is better than Roman. Any day, argue to the wall. Who's Roman? Who are you talking about, man? Roman Reigns, Roman Kopilov. Once upon an oil fest, X-ray, Mario Volkov robbed. Yeah, yeah. I'm inclined to agree with that. The Habib Alex is nothing. I can make that guy tap in a millisecond. Habib is on fire. Habib is telling us he's going to submit people. Mario Aljo robbed. I don't think so, man. Um, Mario Habib, let's talk now. Habib, your auntie robbed. What? Habib, when did you get so rude, man? Wamai, Gorimbo versus Oban Ele, that's what needs to happen. I agree. Wamai, Wash Gangster. Yep. Habib, everyone shut up. Okay. Rich, some guy in the comment section started telling me of that Troy would smoke Ige. I mean, it's possible. Habib, me talk now. Okay. Habib, John Jones is better than John Cena. Shut up now. Okay. I thought I read that wrong. It clearly seems like you're comparing UFC to WWE. Habib, go smash that guy talking shit. Mario. Tis rich, yeah, right. Murphy, Ige both beat Troy, in my opinion. Yeah, I could see that. Habib, KO Entertainment, my shit. Mario, he thinks he's the MMA goat. Habib is actually going after KO Entertainment. Get him, my guy. Get him. Let's see. I want to see where this ended. Random person. Oh my, baby Leon title run. Let me see. Am I visible? Okay. Let me finish up responding. It's getting late. Um, remember the name. Random person, pull yourself out of the fire, Leon. Habib. Anyways, enough jokes. Why Leon at the 15 pound for pound? I don't know, man. I think he was barely winning fights. Maybe I don't know. Um, Maud, Mad Maud. Much love and respect from Mortania. Oh, welcome to the channel, my guy. Random person, no clue. Well, I mean, Charles is still pound for pound. I mean, Charles is winning fights against top level fighters. But I get your point. I mean, he beat Colby Covington. Colby Covington is not top level, so I guess that's why. Tizzy Rich, rare time. Bryce looks minus 950. Random person, RIP Crown Gracie. Yeah, that was good, man. Man, we miss who's that? Once upon an all first Crown Gracie title shot now. Oh Wow, what's the point in the office, Gracie? Yeah, Habib El Kukui. Oh, yeah, in his prime, he was good, man. Tizzy Rich Prime Kukui. Yeah, Habib, bro. I don't know spelling. My English is bad. No, it's cool, man. As long as we can understand what you're saying, don't stress about it. Habib, come Dagestan. I'll show you, bald guy. Oh my bro, I actually thought the crown was about to rip his arm off for a second. I was worried as well. Random person, true. Um, the sun is going down, guys. I might have to bounce, but let me try and see if I can finish up here. Mario, when Gracie kept pulling guard, I was like, what this man doing, brother? Habib, Allahu Akbar. He is the greatest. Random person, Mitchell versus Royce Gracie next. It happened. Oh my, Bryce almost fucked up and gave Kron a ranking. That would have been wild, dog. Ooh, that would have been wild. Twizzy Rich, well, it's like fighting Paul Craig. He's awful, but you better not mess up for a second. LOL. Yeah, that's true. Random person, true. Mario, facts. Facts. Imagine he beat the Bo. Yeah, that would be wild, man. Random person, I wouldn't mind. Yeah, actually, I also wouldn't mind. Bo Nickel is so overrated. I agree, and he talks too much. Mario same. Tizerich, LOL. Duke. Nah, Bo Nickel is legit, but he talks too much, man. Gracie was trolling. He was trolling. Random person. This guy said Nickel is good. Um, okay, bro. Tizerich, if Laura Senko pulled God, I'm in. Yeah, if Laura Single pulls God, like I'm also in, man. Like there's nothing wrong with that. Um, if Laura Single pulled the God, I'm jumping in. Yeah, Mario, LOL, a random person. Nico gets more in the higher rankings. Yeah, I agree. Mario, DC need a log in. Random person, bro, saw that. Wild. Duke. Yeah, if you throw him to the Wolves at 185, let him get some experience first. Yeah, I agree. Mario. As in Duke what? I honestly kind of want to see that. BS not gonna lie. Just this for Crown. For my Skullface's random person, Nickel is awful, bro. Not awful. I just feel like he's overhyping himself. Damn it, it's getting dark, guys. I have to bounce. Nickel beats Strickland. I think so too. Bet it. I think Duke talking about Bon Nickel. He really, guys. I appreciate you. I've been on live for 2 hours. I have to leave. My battery is actually even on 9%. Unfortunately, it's late now. I wanted to reply to everyone. It's been 2 hours, which is crazy. Um, just comment down below. I'll respond to your comments. I love and appreciate all of you. See you Saturday. Not Saturday. Wednesday or tomorrow because I might have to do the actions on Thursday. So you'll just see. I normally go live at 4:30 or 5 o'clock p.m. South African Standard Time. So you can research that. So around that time, that's when I go live. Um, so I guess you'll just have to check around that particular period. So just Google in your time zone. Unfortunately, that's why I use South African Standard Time. Just Google South African Standard Time, 5 o'clock or 4:30, in your time zone, and then you'll know when exactly I go live. Um, I'm about to bounce. I love and appreciate all of you. Until next time, deuces.